Hello, welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How are you, mate?
Yeah, just the standard.
Feeling all keeled up?
Keel it up. Trying to figure out who is Bill Clinton?
Yeah, who's the real Bill Clinton?
Who is this rabbi man named Bill Clinton?
Reformed Rabbi... No, Reformed... Who cares? Reformed Rabbi Bill Clinton. Fuck that kid. Alright, so... As people can probably gather from that little bit of preamble there, we've seen the Game Awards, we've watched the Game Awards, we're aware of what's going on at the Game Awards, and we're not going to talk about that little shit anymore, but we're going to focus on the games that were announced. We might briefly touch on some of the awards actually to get things going. What'd you make of the Game of the Year winner? It's not what we picked, but it was obviously the...
It was between one of the two, but it was going to either between those two. And to be honest, I don't care. Don't care. Like, I'm not angry that God of War did not win it, because everyone said that some people who've played both have said Elden Ring is the better game. Some people, not everyone, but
it's hard to... I mean, I obviously haven't played Elden Ring nearly enough, but I feel like it's just more of a case that, like, Elden Ring does something new, whereas God of War
pretty much the same thing as
the ante.
God of War. Yeah,
it just ups what it was already doing, which is, you know, like, it's bigger and better and more badass, to quote, you know, Cliff Bleszinski and all the stuff he used to say back in the day about Gears of War, but it's not anything new, whereas they kind of took what they'd already established, the From Software formula that was working very, very well for them, and then they made it open world, and they which is not necessarily an original idea, but actually made it work.
I got the Game of Thrones man in...
Yeah, George Railroad Martin.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah, that's what the R clearly has to stand for. So...
Could be Ray Martin.
Yeah, well, let's go with that. Because he pulls off a mask and he's actually Ray Martin.
Ray Martin. That's where he's been all these years, Ray.
This is your life, fuckers. All right,
Ray?
So... Yeah, look, wasn't stoked because money was on God of War, but I get it, and I actually felt like God of War was going to do the job for a while there, because it felt like they were on the way to sweeping everything. They'd going into those final couple awards with game direction and all that, they'd already picked up 6. And then
they came head to head with Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Because Elden Ring, between the two, they were in the same category 6 times, and they split it down the middle.
Did they win 3 and 3 in the end? So what was the one? I mean, it was game direction and game of the year. And what was the one that? Oh, it's all art. Okay.
And then there was, I think, audio or music or whatever.
Yeah, God of War won the 2 audio contests there. It would have been. No, they wouldn't have been competing on acting. But
no, let me just double check.
But you're right. Like, God of War won 6 things. Elden Ring won 4, including game of the year and best direction. So there was. We've already nailed the Elden Ring ones then outside of it. So
what else did they have? It was best narrative, which was God of War. Best score and music, which is God of War. Best audio design is God of War. Then Elden Ring won Game of the Year, best game direction. What was the other one they had?
RPG.
Well, that might have been it. Hang on. Oh, and best art direction. So that's the 3.
That's the 4. That's the 4.
Well, not the 4, but when God of War and
Elden
Ring.
Split. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
And of course, as we should say, Christopher Judge, well and truly deserved.
Shouldn't have been up on stage as long as he was.
Or Al Pacino. I don't know which one you wanted to get to. I mean, who let him out of the house?
I reckon there was a lot of people that saw some old bloke tottering up there and going, "It's not Al Pacino. It's not what I remember Al Pacino looking like." But I haven't seen Al Pacino in years, so I was just that can't be right.
Most people have seen Al Pacino in 10 years. It's like that last movie he was in, and popular people just say, yeah, good question.
Yeah, I don't know. And he clearly hasn't done any work for a while because he can't read a teleprompter anymore. So
he can't read or he can't see.
You can't see it. Yeah, you can't see the teleprompter properly by his own admission. So during the actual event. But anyway, so yeah, that's the Game Awards stuff. But we'll kind of focus in on, I guess, as we start to cast an eye forward to 2023. We don't even have that many episodes left. In fact, I haven't even checked to see how many episodes left we'll actually have. But casting an eye forward anyway, the Game Awards is big because of the game announcements, if we're being perfectly real. So given that, lots and lots of world premieres, it was a really, really big one. I'd say it's probably Jeff's best showcase ever. Game Awards, opening night live, Summer Games Fest, kickoff, all that stuff.
Jeez, he's got a lot to live up for next year.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard act to follow now, but we're going to kind of pick through, and I guess we're not going to discuss the entire thing because there are so many games that were announced and shown off, and myself and Jess are putting together a full written thing on the Player 2 website that people can kind of start to check out. By the time the episode goes up, they'll all be there. There was so many game announcements, we split it into 3 parts. So anyway, go check out all those for kind of thoughts on every single game, but we're going to kind of focus on our top 5 or so games each from the event, and we might start by discussing a game that both of us had in common.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll get Star Wars out of the way.
That we know had in common. There might be others, but this one we've actually discussed. So, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I'll throw it over to you first. What'd you make of it?
Well, it's pretty much the same party tricks they showed in Jedi Fallen Order preview, and to be honest, you don't have to sell me on it. I'm already sold. But the best thing about it is stubbled beard.
Oh yeah.
I was like, wow, he looks so much more badass with just a little bit of growth of beard. I was like, I wasn't sure if he's having a midlife crisis, which he probably is because he's a Jedi on the run.
On the run.
Of course.
As they point out many times during Fallen Order, and they even do so in this trailer as well.
And then they show the coolest trick of all, where you pick up a stormtrooper and use his own gun against his fellow comrades.
Could you do that in Fallen Order? Or did you just pick him up and they were just like...
I think you could just pick him up and just throw him like 10-pin bowling. I don't think you could use a gun against him.
Maybe couldn't shoot, but I feel like you could use him as like a meat shield or something, but I don't...
Maybe a shield, yes, but not as a...
with a rattle gun. Clap back, yeah. I was really impressed by what they showed. We all kind of knew it was coming. There'd been plenty of little teasers, announcements there. But I don't know. I feel like my expectations are really high, and they still managed to exceed it, which is probably a pretty damn good sign. It's not my number one game from the show, but it's definitely right up there. And now we know. I mean, now we have the official confirmation it's coming in March. Fantastic. I don't know how we're going to get time for all of the games that are coming out in that window. We'll talk about that kind of Q1 block later, I'm sure, because it's absolutely insane. And maybe ends up becoming the basis for an episode next week. We'll see. But it's pretty sweet.
Also, too, that when they start to, there's a collector's edition for Jedi Survivor, and I looked at it like, well, that's tempting. Saw the price, I thought, pass.
I went as far as putting it in my cart, and then I saw that they wanted to charge $60 to ship it over here, which ended up it took the whole thing that was already nearly $300. It took it to $500 Australian to bring the thing out here, and I mean that's still awfully tempting to get the lightsaber, like a functioning lightsaber. Well, not functioning. I guess it doesn't cut people in half, but
what a shame.
I couldn't. I'd rather wait until I find myself in America or something like that and go over to, where is it it'd be like Disneyland or something where you can buy yourself a proper actual
I thought it was going to say somewhere really, really dodgy somewhere. It's let's try to figure out.
Black market lightsaber deals.
Yeah, just somewhere in California there.
Yeah, probably.
Let's be away.
What was the next game on your list? Because obviously that's our number one now covered.
Yes, that is my number one. It's a tough one. I'm going to say Judas.
Done. I thought, okay, cool. That's another one on my list.
So it's the what I call Bioshock in space. That's how I see it.
I mean, look, Ken Levine's the guy who created Bioshock in the first place, and this is
his team. I would have known he made Bioshock if it didn't have the words from the creator of or maker of.
Right in the very first.
Okay.
Like the first 10 seconds.
I see. So it's a Bioshock game then, and it pretty much does look like a Bioshock game, but it does look terrible.
It looks amazing.
Looks very good. I'm in space by the looks of it. That could be a dream in space. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I don't know. The way Ken's brain works, you'd have no idea. I'm really interested in the whole thing, not just because of how good the game looks, because it is really, really Bioshocky, and yet it's definitely not a Bioshock game, and they've got a team that is working on the next Bioshock, and this is he's doing his stuff for Take-Two, which is the 2K, same company that is owning this Cloud Chamber studio who's working on Bioshock. So it's weird that they've kind of got an actual Bioshock game and then a game from the guy who created Bioshock that also looks a hell of a lot like Bioshock, all
But it's not Bioshock.
in development at the same. But it's not Bioshock, all in development at the same time. I'm not going to begrudge Ken from doing his thing. Like he's a genius. He's made some of the best games of all time, not just even through the Bioshock games, but even System Shock and some of the stuff he'd done prior. But and been involved in Deus Ex and all those sorts of things too. So like his credits are greater than most people in this business. But it seems odd that 2K would go, yeah, it's all right. Oh, sorry, Take Two would go, yeah, sure, no worries. Like we'll have a game that's exactly the same as the franchise that we want to keep going anyway, but not make it that. It seems odd in that sense, but who cares? The game looks amazing. And he's been working on it for basically, well, Infinite came out 10 years ago. So he's had a decade.
10 years. 10 years.
And I did see someone tweet out, like someone had quote tweeted the trailer or whatever, and said, "This is the game I've been working on for the last 6 years." So, this clearly the core of the idea of what's become Judas has been in development now for quite some time. So it makes me hopeful that maybe 2023, like it's a really fast turnaround, which was the thing that Ken and Irrational copped criticism for when it came to Bioshock Infinite, because they announced it and then delayed it and delayed it and delayed it and delayed it. They dropped dates and it would get delayed again and all that sort of stuff until it eventually launched in 2013. So maybe the game is really, really deep into development at this point, and it's kind of coming towards the back end of the thing, and so they can say, okay, let's announce this, and don't worry, when you see us next, there'll be a release date attached or something like that. So that's kind of my hope with that one. But setting that aside, the game looks pretty sweet, right?
It does. Have companions by the looks of it this time.
Well, yeah, that looks kind of
maybe
cool.
I don't know. Find out. Just a man in a hat. Or that could have been a different trailer. I can't remember. All I remember is not Chuck Norris. I know Chuck Norris was wearing a hat in a game, but that's not the one.
That's that Gangs, no Crime City, no whatever it was.
Oh, whatever it is. I don't care about it. I was looking at it and went, oh yeah, it's full of popular actors, which means stay away.
Yeah, really a good sign. But at the same time, that game, I can't even remember its name, but that game looked pretty cool in the end. So,
yeah.
But there are the warning signs there, so let's keep in mind what Matto has just said for whenever this game actually comes out. I'll have to double check the name now; it's going to bother me. But yeah, I guess we'll toss it back to you again then, because you've basically you've stolen my number one, you've stolen my number two. So we've been able to wax about both of them. This could be a short episode now.
Just like Battleships, it's just guessing what games you had. I mean, how many world premieres were there? It was like 20 old or something.
40 or something. And
40, that's of 2 for 2.
And I reckon if you take a look at your list and go with the one that you reckon I'm most likely to have picked outside of whatever's left, and we'll see if we cross over.
Okay. Well, yours. Or
I feel like there should be at least, well, the game that I think is the most obvious that I'd pick, I know you wouldn't have actually picked, but another one that is right up there for sure.
I don't think I honestly, looking at my list, I don't think I have it. I might. I have nowhere, but I don't.
Shoot shot. Whatever you think I'd most likely have gone for. Go with that next. Go with that one next. And also, that game was called Crime Boss Rockhay City.
There you go. Well, on my list, I've got Hades 2.
So we've crossed over again, but it wasn't the game I was expecting you to.
Oh, it was a different one. Oh no. And man, this is going to be the shortest episode ever.
Well, it's a good thing we've got a couple reserves, right?
Yes.
You've got one. I've got two.
Well, there we go. That's all right.
I know that my number one game from this thing, I'm certain you haven't picked, but.
Oh no. Is it Returnal on PC? Is that the number?
No, it's not Returnal on PC. But
or is it the mobile game that just took an absolute piss take out of? I can't remember what it was. It was about a 20-second advertisement. It's like, I can't remember what it's called. I just laughed.
Vampire Survivors got confirmed for mobile.
Yeah, that's the one. I think that's the one.
Oh,
it was that was the short ad. It's just, it's on mobile. It's free and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, cool. But Hades 2, I haven't finished the first one. I
still haven't started the first one.
Oh, good idea. Well, I almost finished it and then died a lot. But this one just looks exactly the same, and I don't care. I'm already in. I don't care what the story is. It's just probably going to be the same level-based shenanigans like the first one. And I'm all for it. and I was trying to remember who Hades was because I was trying to figure out if it was the main guy in the first one. And I thought, hey, oh, that makes no sense. I'm a lady this time. But no, it is not. It is the man with the beard. Wherever he is.
I mean, the whole thing was kind of fascinating, the way they kind of portrayed everything in the first place, and then they announced it was a Super Giant game straight away. It was the first game of the main award show that wasn't pre-show stuff, and it was clear they announced it was Super Giant straight away, so it all kind of made sense. I did have that prick of feeling very, very early on in the piece because I'm like, the headpiece, like that's very Greek, so maybe it is Hades too, but they kind of did their best to kind of avoid making it super, super crystal clear obvious that it was that, until eventually they kind of showed the green and red eye. Like, oh, that's Hades. Like the fact that the main character has green and red eyes, that's if you check any of the key art even for the first game, you'll see those green and red eyes.
Oh, but, okay.
So yeah, okay, great. Clearly Hades, and then they showed gameplay. I'm like, okay, now it's all obvious. They tried their best to not make it super obvious straight away, but I mean, if you know your Greek gods, then you'll recognize a little headpiece that looks kind of Greek and go connect the dots. So either way, the game looks pretty sweet, and it's accelerated. I mean, I've been talking about for a while that I need to play Hades, and now that there's a sequel on the way, I absolutely need to hurry up and play Hades.
Yeah, so I need to just finish it, and then I need to go back and play Jedi Fallen Order and remember what the hell happened in that.
Just watch a recap video for that one.
You've already finished it. I want to go and fight old Bong Bong or whatever its name is.
Mate, the frog. Mate, you've got The Witcher 3 coming out in days.
No, actually, when this airs, it'll be 11 o'clock the next day.
Jesus.
It's on a Wednesday. 11 a.m. Yeah. Well, I won't be playing until Thursday, and it's just gonna... Let's be honest, it's not gonna happen. But I will give it a go.
I just can't wait to see you try.
Oh, I'm gonna try. You watch. Maybe I'll just put it on Twitch and just watch me cry. And cry that I can't do any of the side missions.
You're crying, trying to hold them open.
I'll be crying because I can't go do the frying pan mission story thing.
Sorry, I've got to skip it. I'm trying to finish.
No, I can't do the frying pan. I've got to do the actual story. I've got to do the main game and just ignore everything else. And it's going to make me cry. It's just going to suck. Can't get all those Gwen cards. Can't do nothing. Can't fight. Just have to dodge everything. Nothing.
Good luck with it then. All right, I'll throw out the next game then, in the hopes that the fourth game for us is not one we both have in common, but I still can't help but feel like this is the one that I figured you were going to potentially go with. And it's appropriate that I've gone with the fourth game, because it's the fourth game in the franchise, Diablo 4.
No?
I thought you... Oh, holy shit. I mean, look, it was just a CG trailer, so really my hype's all based on the fact that all the gameplay previews and stuff kicked out like a day prior. And I'm not feeling as confident. Like the leak had already happened prior to the event that said it was going to come out on June 6th, and then, which is awfully close, like the 6th, 23, for a game that's all based on hell and all that sort of stuff. They nearly had everything fall into place for them. Maybe they can put the game out at 6:66. No, that's not a time. At 6 o'clock on the 6th of the 6th. 23.
Well, if you do 6 o'clock, 6 minutes, 6 seconds.
Yeah, they'll have to try and do something with it. Like they're 2/3 of the way there.
Well, they missed out on the 6th of the 6th. They're 16 years late. They did that with some stupid horror movie, and no one gave a shit. I remember that. I don't even know what it was called.
Yeah, I mean, all my hype's kind of based on the previews, but yeah, I'm not feeling super confident about that date, because as soon as that kind of leaked, then reports came out the day after that was basically like the morning of the Game Awards for us, that people from Blizzard were feeling mighty stressed about that release date and the fact that the amount of crunch they were expecting they were going to have to do to get the game done. And with the way that the industry really kind of gets up in arms about crunch these days, I feel like that's going to put a little bit of pressure internally, and all of a sudden the game gets delayed because we can't ask our employees to work more than the standard 40 hours. So let's dial things back, and maybe it becomes a September release or something like that. But
Jim Ryan won't go away.
I mean, holy shit! Like,
Get out of here,
there's a whole episode in that at the moment. Like that Activision episode, that scenario is getting messier and messier. Have you seen the latest updates?
The
The FTC's suing them.
The MTC's sued them. Microsoft saying it's a done deal, giving them a 10-year. Jim Ryan's on the floor crying.
The FTC apparently even cited the fact, and there's like a series of tweets they put out to kind of summarize stuff in a more public-facing sort of way. But in one of their tweets, they were highlighting the fact that when Microsoft was talking to the European Union about the deal with Bethesda, they must have indicated it wasn't going to affect other platform holders. So, like PlayStation and Nintendo, but all of a sudden Starfield is exclusive. So now
one game.
Well, yeah, but like that's the first example, of course. The other ones, like Ghostwire and Deathloop, there was already agreements for those, so they couldn't. Well, they accepted they weren't going to rip those up. But like the very first opportunity to, kind of stick to their word, and they didn't. So, well, apparently, so the FTC is pointing this out and saying, well, they promised stuff to people then, and they didn't go through with it. So what's that mean when they make their promise to PlayStation? It's alright, it'll always be there, and suddenly it disappears. Anyway, that's a really ugly situation. But even that could have a little part to do in the whole thing, because that's under Activision Blizzard. So, like Diablo, I mean. So who knows? I don't know. It's messy, but yeah, I'm super really really keen on the game. So bring on June 6th or whenever the hell the thing comes out.
Or September, whatever it is. Whenever it's ready.
Yeah, when it's ready. Yeah, I'll be happy when it's ready, because the game looks incredible. And those CG cutscenes are just typical Blizzard brilliance. But that's a whole other thing anyway. I guess over to you then with your fourth game, because I wasn't expecting.
I was going to say you could give you another go unless I take another guess of one of your other games.
Oh, you could absolutely get, like, I've got one game left now in terms of the actual 5, and
I'm pretty sure you don't have any VR games, do you? Or has you got one?
If there was one there, you'd know what it is, but no, I didn't pick it.
Okay, so it's not Horizon. That's good, because I didn't pick Horizon.
I've got Burning Shores as a backup, the DLC expansion, because
when Aloy goes to Hollywood. When Aloy goes to Hollywood, that's
and then the Hollywood sign gets ripped apart in front of her.
What a fun time that would be. No, mine is Viewfinder.
Was that even a VR game? I thought it was just like a perspective kind of. They were doing quirky things with perspective.
Oh, I don't know. That's what I couldn't figure out. I couldn't figure out if it was a VR game or was just a first-person game. I'm just looking at it going, wow, you can use pictures and make platforms out of it. I thought, that is impressive. I was amazed.
I'm just double-checking the Steam listing now, but I'm pretty sure... Yeah, no, full control support stuff. No, it's a normal game. It's just...
I couldn't even tell. Maybe because I was getting so mixed up, there was other VR games mixed in. It was actually probably one, to be honest. There's only Horizon with its bow and arrow just showing it.
Well, there was that game called Behemoth as well that was there. That was a VR game.
Oh, yes.
And that looks pretty sweet. Though I feel like the sickness would kick my ass, because they tried to, like... Well, they didn't demo it, but they kind of implied that you might be like climbing up the side of a cliff, but in VR. If I look down... That's it. I'm done.
Shrek, I'm looking down. Don't look down.
But at the same time, that's a pretty good choice. I was pretty impressed by that game.
Yeah, so I was sort of more interested. You just use not actual photos, just use photos to create a platform. I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool. It's probably someone else might have done it, not like that, but sort of, like. I was going to say doodle jump. That's probably the worst example you could use.
Yeah, not a great example.
Not a great example, but it does look exciting. I didn't actually see what the release date was, but when it is, I shall or may play it. If I can find room for it out of all the other games that are coming out in 2023.
Yeah, I do worry about the game if it does come out in 2023 in terms of actually getting a bit of spotlight. But at the same time, I guess the front half of the year is currently stacked. The back end, not so much. The only thing we can kind of assume is that Spider-Man will probably be in there, but that's about the only thing that seems obvious for that block of time at the moment. And anything that maybe gets delayed out of that first half of the year, because that first half of the year is completely and utterly insane. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in that space. I guess over to me, my fifth then, and the game that I feel like probably the most obvious that I would have picked. I presume for most people, Final Fantasy 16.
Oh yes, that's of course.
Look, there's games that I'm now leaving on the table. Like I don't, or one game in particular that I'll maybe shout out after I'm done with this, after you're done with yours. But yeah, Final Fantasy 16 looks amazing still. It's the latest release date in the year that we know at this point. It got its June 22nd release date, and I guess that's not a bad thing to kind of be last off the rank, because you can maybe just have a bit of breathing room. You don't have to worry about what's breathing down your neck in terms of the next big release. But yeah, I mean, I love Final Fantasy, so the fact that it's kind of going back to the more traditional fantasy style thing rather than kind of the more sci-fi edge that they've had in lots and lots of other games over the years, and certainly more recently, is good. I'm really, really keen on that, and they seem to be firing on all cylinders. They've got the guy responsible for Final Fantasy 14 who fixed that whole MMO up to come across and work on it and be the head of it, and that just bodes really, really well. So the game looks awesome. I pre-ordered my deluxe edition as soon as it went live, thanks JB, and I'm now just sitting here waiting for the possibility that the big giant collector's edition with a statue that I totally don't need but absolutely do gets made available as well. Because it seems odd to me that EB doesn't have a collector's edition available
yet,
which is why I think that's going to drop there sometime during the week. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, anyway, Final Fantasy 16, it's my shit. Can't wait. Over to you, because I suspect you don't have much to say when it comes to Final Fantasy 16.
No, I've played. How many have there been? 16.
16
played.
Ones.
16 cool ones. I've played one of them, and that was Final Fantasy 3 on the DS. I was getting excited because I thought the DS2 was coming out, and then I realized it's Death Stranding. And
see, that's a game that nearly made the cut for me, except that I still haven't played the original, so I just felt confused the whole time.
Played none of them. I thought, oh yeah, the baby's grown, then the baby got shot. I thought, oh well, that's the end of that game then.
Yeah, they showing a bit of hate towards babies there, like the accident, and it gets thrown out of the...
Not there. Let's just say Kojima's got something against babies.
Bibbies,
or BBs. Whatever he's... Don't know what his problem is, but we shall find out. Or I won't. I haven't even played the first one. But I'll give some honourable mentions out first before I get to my final one. I give one honourable mention to Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and they did a really good job with that too.
Cutscene was great. I mean, I was a bit surprised because there was actually 4 characters in the cutscene, which sort of threw me off because,
Gotham Knights.
And to be honest, that 4 minutes of cut that they showed was probably more exciting than what Gotham Knights cutscenes were altogether.
Pretty much. Outside of the beginning one.
I think it was mainly because of Boomerang and just cutting the Flash's finger off with his boomerang. That's nothing dirty. That's what he actually did.
Yeah, he cut his finger off. By accident.
And then we see good old Batman appear, or possessed Batman.
Yeah, possessed Arkham Asylum, Arkham Origins, Arkham City, Arkham Knight Batman. It's in the Arkhamverse, people.
And then I was going to put this game in my list until I played the demo, which was Forspoken, and then...
you've tried the demo? I haven't even gotten that far yet. I've got the PS5 here ready to record Player 2 Plays for it immediately afterwards.
Well, I won't say anything then. I'll let you have your own thoughts. I can say, okay.
No, feel free to share your thoughts. Like, I've spoken to Max Cooper for the players, and he loves it.
Oh, does he? I'm the opposite. It was like I was,
you're not a JRPG guy.
I know, but I felt like I was playing Shadow of War again. It was just this really big space, nothing in it.
Oh, okay.
I just going around and thought, this is boring, man. Like, it was fun to fight one crocodile, and that was really it.
I'll have to see we go then.
But that's just me. Like you said, I'm not a big JRPG fan, so I might see it a bit differently.
But at the same time, the big open world knows nothing in it is still a potential concern though, and that doesn't matter whether you're a JRPG guy or not. So
that's for you to see when you get there. But I don't know if it's it's not my number one because Star Wars was my number one. But this one, well, I don't know where I put it, but it is the Cyberpunk 2077 DLC.
Yeah, right.
Phantom Liberty. I
Loving it. Idris Elba.
Yes, that's the other thing. I thought, oh, they got another cool actor to come in and just be an absolute badass. Not a popular one, just a good one. I'm more than happy to have good actors
Yeah, that's
in
all
the
you want,
game.
right?
Yes. I was hoping he had his British accent. He doesn't, but that's okay. I can live without the British accent. But it's going to be interesting to see where that goes.
Wait, sorry, that was your actual final game. That wasn't the
No, that was my final
mention.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a good choice. I was really impressed by it now, and that's despite obviously not having played Cyberpunk properly yet because fuck them from the beginning. But I'll have to go back to it because yeah, that looked really good, and obviously everyone's talking about how much better the main game is now that it works.
It works. It does look boring. There's some activities, actual people in the streets. No cars flying off in random spots.
Let's just get ready for The Witcher. Let's just get rid of The Witcher.
Yeah, I'm ready. Don't you worry about that.
Witcher 4 or the remake, whatever comes first.
Oh yeah, the remake of the first one.
I think the remake will come first at this point.
Oh well.
That's fine. Who cares? It looks like... I'm sure it'll be awesome. The fact that they're not doing... Like, it's not a one-for-one remake. It's them just taking, like, the story and all those sort of things, and they're just making a new version of The Witcher 1. I guess more like a Final Fantasy VII remake style thing is exactly what I want to hear.
Well, that's probably a good thing because the combat in the first one's just
shit.
Not to the old Republic style. Just you click it and you just swing and you don't do anything else until somebody dies. So we can go back to just having full-on combat fun and hopefully Geralt's beard
open world will be grow. There, all that sort of stuff. It'll be good. New equivalent of the frying pan mission.
Frying pan.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I don't think there's anything that exciting that you can't top the frying pan mission.
Okay, fair enough. Well, obviously I've already had my number one, but just to throw a little bit of love to my kind of backups there, which was, as I mentioned, Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores. That DLC is going to be sweet. Cannot wait for April to play that one. And it promised me to now make sure I go chase down that platinum before it comes out. So I'm kind of
only
frame of mind.
So if everyone's got a PS4.
Oh yeah, you're not playing it on PS4.
Suck eggs.
And the other game is one that is I think it's gonna be amazing, but the whole mode of delivery for it is weird. Valiant Hearts 2 or Valiant Hearts Going Home. Ubisoft game. Do you remember like Valiant Hearts was one of those UbiArt engines? Remember that Child of Light?
Oh yeah. I was trying to think of the game. Saw that the funny art one, the war one.
Yeah, war exactly. One, the first one was amazing. It was a legit console game, all that sort of stuff. And then this one is exclusive at the moment to Netflix.
And it's not on what?
No, so like it's the Netflix mobile app. Do you have Netflix?
I do. I didn't know Netflix were making games now.
Oh yeah, no, they've been doing it for a while. So like, if you get the Netflix mobile app or on the iPad or whatever, I'm just quickly booting into mine now so I can kind of talk through it properly. Download.
Also, I did find it weird when the Netflix logo came up for it showed the game. I thought, what's Netflix got to do with anything of this? Like, this is a gaming show, not a TV show or television.
I can't remember how to access it now.
Because no one uses the app. Everyone's got it on their smart televisions.
Well, yeah.
No one uses an app no more.
No, I've completely forgotten how to access it on. Or did I download them from the store and then? No, so basically the Netflix app doubles up as an app store as well. So then you download it and it's like, so I've got some Netflix games, Arcanium and Lucky Luna that I haven't actually tried out yet, but like they're just free. They don't cost you anything because it's just part of your monthly, like your payment
so it's just
to Netflix.
Shitty Apple store.
Well, but heavily curated because Netflix isn't really trying to create an app store of like the equivalent of the Apple one or the Google Play or any of those sort of things. So they're really kind of picking and choosing what they want. And Valiant Hearts from Ubisoft is absolutely like a really good get. So I'm keen to try that out when it comes out, and then eventually pick it up on PlayStation when inevitably it comes across at some point because they want more money or something. But really, really keen on that one. Any other games you want to shout out kind of as a last minute thing?
No, I can't remember the rest of them. I just looked at some. I watched a lot of them and just thought, oh yeah, cool. Didn't really excite me. Just move on.
I mean, Wild Hearts is cool. That's obviously the Monster Hunter like from EA. That
There's another
Crash
EA
Team
one
Rumble
there.
game can fuck
Oh,
right off.
I just looked at, thought Paul's going to be over the moon with that game.
No,
It's like you were talking about. Oh, it's going to be another Crash game. This is what we got.
Yeah, it's not great. But
actually, no. Right. There's actually it's not actually a game related, but they showed more of the Mario movie.
See, I'm liking what they're showing.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Like, I'm sort of can't get used to the actors because I think it's just because we've been so used to like characters from the games. Like we used to have that other guy who's not doing Mario.
Oh yeah. Well, geez, why am I?
His name Mark. I don't know his name. I can't remember his name. But
Charles Martinet.
Charles, yeah, because he's not doing it. Chris Pratt is, and then the only so far the one that I've got that's a good pick is Jack Black as Bowser. But I watched that trailer or the snippet, and I thought, you know what, it might be rubbish, but I want to see it.
See, I don't even think it's rubbish. I'm all in. I reckon this is gonna be a genuinely funny movie.
Yeah. I think even when you see all the toads have their own personalities. You got just normal Toad, and then just all the other ones just casually just chatted, going around their business, going about their business. So yeah,
actually, a little comment about his brother gonna die, just to like get them to part the crowd, get out of the way fast. Like that was a nice little punchline.
Like what he is, like he's fine, just trying to part that crowd.
And it's the stuff that Nintendo themselves would never do in a game, but you can get away with in this setting. So I'm all for it. They're ticking all the boxes there. But yeah, I guess in terms of some other things that kind of popped up, Wild Hearts was definitely one of them. I'm just quickly skimming through my big list because it's still a working document that I've got to put together for these other breakdowns from the Game Awards that will be live by the time everyone actually sees this. But anyway, you mentioned EA that Immortals of Avium or whatever it was.
Yeah, they showed absolutely nothing except like someone putting his hand up and going, "Well, I have a hook for a hand." Fantastic.
Yeah, it's
one all of the, behind a paywall EA, so fantastic. They gave themselves a name, like EA something. I don't know what it was.
It's the EA Originals thing. That's where
Originals. Give me a break. EA.
No, but they've been doing it for years. It's like their indie supporting program. So they basically finance the indies, and then as soon as they only take the money until EA has been paid back, at which point the indie gets all the rest. But they get all the EA marketing stuff. They've been doing it for years. That's what It Takes Two was one of those. Do you remember like Unravel and the Unravel games?
Unravel 2, yeah.
Wild Hearts is one of them as well.
Oh, okay.
Like and that's not really indie, but it's like they will throw this. Like it's actually an awesome thing that EA is doing, and they've been doing it for 6 or 7 years now.
Oh, I'm shocked. I'm just used to EA being absolute scumbags and putting everything behind a paywall.
I don't blame them, but I don't blame you for thinking that. The new Bayonetta was kind of cool.
Oh yes,
totally different, but yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Scars Above, which is kind of that Tomb Raider-y game but set in space. For what it's worth, I've got a demo of it that I've been sent since. There's a public-facing demo that's available now, but I've got like a different preview build that I'm playing at the moment that people can expect to see a preview up on the Player 2 website real soon, based on that. So, I haven't actually played it by the time that I'm recording this, just to be crystal clear, so I'm not showing my hand to anyone. But yeah, anyway, stay tuned for that. And otherwise, yeah, that's the Game Awards done. There was plenty of cool stuff there, plenty to enjoy. Not too many bad moments, I thought.
Just
but
one dickhead to ruin them all.
Well, yeah, one dickhead. And the wrong game of the year was awarded. But anyway, can't win them all. All right. We'll wrap things up there. I reckon we might have, just from looking at the calendar, maybe one episode to go for the year, I think, if I've got that all right. So, 13th, 20th, yeah, next week's episode will be the final one of the year. So, we'll come up with something good for you, or we'll just whinge and whine about how hard 2023 is going to be to play everything.
Or we just have a whole episode. Oh no, let's do that if we ever land on April Fool's Day. Just an episode dedicated to Jim Ryan.
Crying Jim Ryan, flying Jim Ryan, dying Jim Ryan.
Belgium Jim Ryan.
Fuck Jim Ryan. Anyway,
Hey.
we'll wrap things up there. If you enjoyed this episode of Patch, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons down below. Hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes more Patched, Player 2 plays, Gamer School, and a whole bunch more. Visit the website, player2.net.au, for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series Patched, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. Actually, I'm going to shout out Dev Diary. Dev Diary episode 100 is live this week. So make sure to check that one out. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in over the years and will continue to do so. It's been awesome, and I'd got a nice big guest working on a really big game that, well, I'm not gonna totally disclose it yet publicly anyway. But yeah, that's a thing.
Crash Rumble.
It's definitely not Crash. Thank God for that. It's a game that's 10 times cooler with claws.
Oh, right.
Shing.
Is that how they come up? Is it shing?
It's just shing. But anyway.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I got Hugh Jackman on board. So yeah, we're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au. Kick a few bucks. Lower tiers, early access. Higher tiers, monthly episode exclusives. And finally, there's Twitter. Matto.
Matto_Phil.
Paul James Games for myself. The website is player2au. And until next week, the final episode of the year. Thanks a lot, as always. All hail Bill Clinton.
Hail Bill.